band, get locked in. I do want to ask you, out of these two teams, who do you think is the biggest threat to this tournament? Making it through here, who do you think can go for the deepest run?
Probably EG. I think EG will match up well against eHome in the next rounds as well, potentially. But it's really either team. We talk about Vici Gaming just needing some confidence. So you beat EG in front of your home crowd, you get a roaring crowd. As you walk out of that booth, that's going to give them, I think, the confidence to go far as well. So either team, I would say.
You've played on stages like this before. Do you think that confidence could be a factor to make them a team that goes up against eHome and just smashes them on the side of VG?
I think especially for a team like VG, it's so important because they didn't have a big win yet. Like a win like this would catapult them to top 6 against eHome, who they played a lot already in the qualifiers and everything. They would definitely be much more confident than they are now, obviously, because now they have a huge lack in confidence. So the win could mean everything for them. They could make a top 3 even after that, because I think we haven't seen this team at full strength yet. They always seem to like struggle mentally a lot, and it's a shame to see, honestly.
Yeah, we keep hearing that from every analyst, saying they're not at full strength. We hear about the potential. We already mentioned that, but it is so important to stress the fact that they haven't gotten any confident boosters this time around. They haven't gotten any of those big wins to really help them move through this tournament. And now on the main stage for the first time to get the draft underway, we got EG versus VG, and you can see a little bit of a spoiler on your screen there in the draft. Kind of far away though, so you can't see exactly what it is.
I see a Tusk OD, right?
Yeah.
And you have incredible eyesight with those glasses.
Yeah,
bro.
it's the glasses.
Yeah, you sniff that out like a truffle pig.
This stage looks incredible, by the way.
And there's Grimstroke Earth Spirit on the other side.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, now it's actually visible.
Yeah. Now even I can see it.
Interesting for me is that the big carries aren't picked up in the first stage. I was expecting some like first stage picks onto heroes like Terrorblade. The Tidehunter that Vici Gaming's been picking a lot, obviously not going to be picked up against the OD. I imagine they may have considered Tide or TB second pick, but when they see the OD, they probably shy away from that, and they want something that counters the OD a bit better.
But they picked quite good heroes against it. There's the silence from Grimstroke, there's the silence from Earth Spirit. So they already have quite a lot of ways to deal with their saves and stuff.
I imagine Earth Spirit was the first overall pick of the draft.
Oh, yes.
Because I don't think it would have been OD. It would have been OD.
Yeah.
This is a really early OD though, from what we've seen. What do you think has made them move into this direction of play? Why do you think EG just locks in OD?
I mean, OD, this meta, I think, is super strong just because you don't want to pick Timbersaw, you don't want to pick Tide, you don't want to pick all these tanky offlaners that you usually just would run. Underlord, another example, because OD just shreds them to pieces. And he's literally like the best hero against these heroes. Blocking him in first phase without having to worry about counters too much, Pugna already being banned out. I think it's a very good approach to the current meta game.
By picking it, you're essentially banning like 10 extra heroes, and these are 10 really good heroes that your opponents want to pick, but now you don't have to worry about them. They may still pick something like a Tidehunter, but something that Tide feels very weak when you're playing into an OD.
Yeah, last night, we were all at the hotel, kind of relaxing. We had that day off. Bulba was very excited about this draft in particular. Like, he just kept saying they really did know what they wanted to play against Vici to start things off. And now we're seeing a very strong draft from them, a very interesting approach. On the side of Vici Gaming, though, is this a little bit more in the meta? I know we've seen so much Grimstroke, especially in first phase. Yesterday, we saw a lot of Grimstroke go first phase. How do you feel about this as an opening way for Vici to start off on the main stage?
Grimstroke's just solid 5 position, I think, and with Lich banned out, it's probably the next best 5. So their opening says very little. It's just you pick your 2 supports here, and you're happy with that.
Ban TB, ban PA, 2 very strong heroes against Jug, and then just pick up the Jug.
Yeah, it actually was a first overall pick OD.
It was.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's something EG did in their last series. Well, not first overall pick, but they don't mind picking it when they have first pick, because you're not going to get the mid counter pick anyways. Yeah. So you may as well pick your mid, because your opponents are going to tend to pick their mid regardless if you save your mid for later in the draft, so there's no point worrying about a counter pick.
Vici Gaming's turn to pick Oracle. Evil geniuses.
Cool here, and then instantly Vici Gaming's going to slam that Medusa.
Medusa against the... Oh my god. Anti-Mage, I think I saw. Anti-Mage OD.
Okay.
Against the Medusa. Wow, he brings an end to magic. It's a taunt, man.
Sick, yeah.
It's a taunt.
So, AM...
draft, yeah.
Yeah, AM, I gotta ask you guys, where do you sit on?
You know why? They're gonna OD ult the Dusa. He's gonna hit at 200 out of 2,000 mana. You're gonna mana void him, and he's dead. That's actually what happens every time.
If you can escape the lanes unscathed, because that's where I think Vici Gaming are going to look to just send this Medusa mid, you go 50-50, and then win those side lanes.
Yeah, but that's where Tusk and Oracle come in very handy. Oracle, Tusk, I think one of the best support duos. That like
it's a strong support duo, but it's a weak core in the lane. Like AM in lane compared to Jug in lane, like it's night and day. So if Vici Gaming, you know, they have a carry in lane who can actually pressure for kills with Blade Fury. AM,
and
what's he
Dusa
gonna
also
do?
beats OD in lane very handily.
Yeah. So
does this put extra pressure on S4 then? Because you were talking about S4 in the laning phase, it being quite scary for him. If he gets shut down, it could be a huge problem. Now with extra pressure on the laning phase overall, is that the concern?
Yeah. When you have an AM on your team, you cannot afford to be losing your lane as well. Because that AM lane, just by default, is going to be either struggling a bit, or your AM is just going to be looking to keep on farming throughout the entire early game stages of the game. So if you're having a bad game, your AM's farming, your whole team has no playmakers and no ability to do anything on the map. So your other cores need to kind of have a good game when you have big anti-mate.
Is that the reason, Black, that we've seen so many of these AMs, even when the pick looks fantastic, and we hear the analysts applauding it, we hear the caster saying, oh, this is the AM I want to see, and then we get down, we're 30 minutes later just saying the AM flopped.
The issue with AM is even if you win his lane, he won't make space for you. He will just continue farming until like minute 20, 25, where he has his 2 items, his 2 core items to actually fight. Whereas other heroes, like a PA, he's super fat early game, he can fight with you throughout the entire game. So in that regard, AM is a bit weaker early on. It's more like the core matchups. If AM has a really good core matchup, it's just so scary to play against when you're like on a timer, you know.
Yeah, but you have to get those 2 items online before you can really see the AM get into
and you have to make sure the other 2 cores actually have a game too, because they will be the ones dealing the damage early game, making the movement happen in the early game as well.
Okay, so we're hearing some things to look at when we actually get into the game. That laning phase is going to be critical for EG, especially with the AM now. We're going to be seeing our last ban here.
I think there's a little bit less pressure on S4 than there is on Yang, simply because EG will be able to pick one of these tanky cores or S4 without having to worry too much, because they have Dusa Jug cores. He's not too scared of those heroes, whereas Yang will have to play probably a counter matchup already, because the OG will most likely counter him.
Master or something?
I think Beast is the best choice.
Beastmaster,
Well,
yeah.
What was it, Beastmaster? You got the sound? Okay.
Yeah.
What's Beast? Yeah.
We're going to trust my ears.
I mean, I was looking at the offlanes left. I was like, I think both teams want Beastmaster, and EG have first pick, so they'll get Beastmaster, which leaves pretty limited options here for Yang.
I'm surprised they banned the Prophet. I think Beast is super good against Prophet.
I think it's maybe more, I guess, the tempo and the
early game. I guess.
The early game, we talk about the lane stage. You got to survive it. You could send Prophet against AM in like a 2-1-2 laning setup, and then your Jug Grimstroke beats the Beastmaster lane. Your Earth Spirit, Nature's Prophet lane will beat the Anti-Mage lane. So that to me is maybe where they're banning that.
Or what's like a Yang here that can really change the game? Like leaving your last pick to off lane when there's already so many counters on the board is, it seems rough.
You kind of want that playmaking tempo here. Like the Darkseer's Underlords, which, you know, could kind of fit their draft by the aura items push with, don't feel like they're super fast tempo with Medusa on your team, but
and
that may just be what you have to get.
And all the fast offlanes are kind of gone already.
Yep.
The Beast is gone, Prophet is gone.
Doom, Centaur, Prophet, those 3 bans. Beastmaster stolen. Tiny even.
Gonna be a rough pick, and they're taking a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's not very often that I feel like I hear you guys saying a first pick is this influential on a draft.
Dazzle.
Oh, Dazzle Core. Very, very aggressive option.
They want to do that against the Anti-Mage, most certainly.
And whether it gets the AM lane or the Beastmaster, both.
How are they laning this?
The thing is, I think for Vici, it doesn't matter with the matchups, because your Dazzle can win against the Beastmaster and the Anti-Mage, and your Jug +1 or +2 supports also wins against either lane. So both side lanes look strong for Vici Gaming.
Yeah, I'm a bit scared for VG if they do a dual lane against the AIM, like a Dazzle, Earth Spirit, and they dual lane against 3 heroes. It's going to be very rough for them. They might be okay with the Jug lane, but Beast is going to get levels, he's going to get his lads, and he will do what Beast does.
And Dazzle cannot be a solo, like he's not an offlaner that takes a 1v. Well, I mean, he could take a 1v1 potentially, but if he goes against 2 heroes,
he could fight Beast, but definitely not 2 heroes.
Yeah.
I'm a bit worried about, but we see it already, that OD denied all the other heroes that they would have picked for sure. They would have gone for an Underlord or something like that. And OD's pretty good against Dazzle too. Your Grave, you can just astral him and he will die anyway.
So this OD just seems to be so impactful. It's the first thing that we see picked in this draft. I haven't heard you guys say that very often. I can't wait to see how it's going to go. The first game on the main stage is ready to get started.
It's the main stage. It's really the boss stage. This place looks absolutely amazing. Kyle, it's good to be here.
I love being here, Toby. I am so glad I get to cast this thing from this wonderful, like, this is wild. We got EG, Vici.
Yep.
I'm here. I'm not at home streaming. I get to hang out and actually get to feel the crowd. I can't wait till they get live. Vici came out. They were cheering like crazy.
Yeah.
EG, they got a lot of fans, but...
Yeah, they have to make some more if they want to try and sway the Chinese crowd. Always one of the hardest crowds out there to get on your side, especially when you got the Chinese audience pumping it up. But man, 2 great drafts as well. VG Gaming, you look to see these guys get aggressive early with the way their draft functions.
Definitely. So EG's running like heavy save lineup, right? Then we're going to try and play cat and mouse, get this anti-mage to a point where you can just take the game. You got Beastmasters constantly going to be able to shove waves as well. The concern has got to be how fast can Vici play this game. Jug, Dusa, Dazzle, you could hit a point where you just walk over buildings and EG is going to be left just defending a dead base.
Yep, which is something they can't really do, like, because how is the OD meant to scale? And maybe that's the other thing we can look at as we're jumping into the game right now. EG, how do they find these timings? OD, Beastmaster, Anti-Mage. We've seen Beastmasters on these sidelines having a lot of space to get farm, to just build up. You have early Vlads, you have early levels because it's this try, and then Beastmaster has a one-on-one. But does EG get the same in this?
How it plays out, I think that the Vici tri-lane is going to be stronger. However, you got the Oracle factor where you can effectively just you cut the Jug spin damage in half because you throw out a W, the Fate's Edict, once you hit level 2.
Yep.
And this is just a really interesting game. I feel like Vici is on a timing, but it's not necessarily like we saw in previous games, like with that tied core. I can't remember some of the group stage where you still scale. You know, Dazzle, this hero is powerful.
You're remembering the tied mid, right? Like, like, oh, we hit level 25 and I'm still like, I get 250 bonus damage. That was the Team Liquid game, I believe, with Matumbaman playing that. But I also wonder about it too. Like, so the pressure on evil geniuses, maybe it's not that high. VG Gaming looked for the timing, but we were talking about at the very beginning of the draft, as you see the OD, as you see the Tuskar being picked up, and then even Oracle in the 3rd pick, there is a lot of saving mechanisms for evil geniuses that can mess with the timing of VG.
Exactly. They want to do this guerrilla-style team fight. They want to find skirmishes around the map, save, and kind of push-pull in the middle of team fights, and then heavy commit onto some target that overextends. You got a lot of way to negate the damage of the Omni Slash, but bear in mind the Vici lineup. It's about the team. Whoa.
Well, Fly, he actually moved out of the way, Fly. He wanted to let Fade pass, surprisingly.
Yeah, they are going to aggro tri-lane on the side of EG, but this Dazzle is an incredibly powerful core, especially against a hero like AM. Only 3 base armor, and you're obviously going to be in melee range of these creeps when you're CSing.
Interesting to watch this mid matchup happen. We've seen a lot of AMs versus the Deuces, especially with the spell block. It's just that easy way you can get a lot of the damage. But actually put Samael, how do you like that mid matchup? The OD versus the Deucer, and actually Samael playing this role too.
I think it's relatively even, and it's the key to this game because Ori, he's been hit or miss recently. I think that if his team ride or dies with his performance, and not just that, but his itemization is going to be key. I think the BKB timing on your Deuce has got to be important. If you look at the draft at EG, they don't do anything through a BKB Medusa, but how will he choose to itemize? Like, does he still go for the Mantiscati?
It feels really weird to even hear you say, like, I want a BKB on a Deucer. I suppose it's a better item build than a Manta and Lincoln's. Shout out to Mushi if he's watching.
Top lane, he got a little bit of harass damage on the Earth Spirit. They pulled, though. I'm surprised EG allowed this camp to spawn. I would have figured Crit would have body blocked it, but instead, they're now going to allow the Dire side to take lane control. Perhaps they'll pull behind tower, but I don't think that's effective. And you can already see Arteezy's trying to keep lane control, but he's going to have 6 creeps heading towards that tier 1 tower. And this is scary because now you're going to give a Dazzle a potential double wave when they actually get that next creep wave coming up. But either way, like, you're 2-on-3 and you're happy with this. You're trading like evenly.
Yep, and it seems like there's also a lot of sustain in the VG lineup. Once you get that level 2, you've already got it over on the Dazzle, but ES, like, he's more of a real hero once you're at level 2, when you're more than just rolling Boulder in. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, I want to keep my eyes on S4. He is running this solo lane, so this is exactly what we were talking about at the beginning of the game. Beastmaster getting this time and space. It's against Paparazzi, but it's the levels of the Beastmaster. It's having the Roar, he can then do something once he has 6.
We were talking about it, like this hero was left all the way to the last pick, and I think both teams could have utilized him.
Oh yeah, Vici wanted it. Like the second you get the Soulbind and you've got Roar, you want to be in that.
Yep, and it's cool. EG, you know, Bulba, he was talking last night about how he had something special prepared, and it turned like I thought first pick OD was unexpected, but I think it's just vintage Bulba that his 3 cores in this game are the exact same from their game 2 2 days ago. Like, if you're Vici, you don't have to go very far down their Dota buff to figure out what they drafted.
And looks like they're having more fun up on top lane. Fly dropping down low, but it's AM getting in the front lines. They've got the control onto Fate. He can't rolling Boulder away. There's no man to use. And Arteezy spills the first blood up on top. Much needed money for this Animate who did lose out in the full creep wave.
Yeah, well done to EG to ensure that Arteezy gets that last hit. So important, especially on the first blood.
Oh, this is actually kind of one of the funny games too, when Beastmaster can actually beat Beastmaster. No Doom, there's no Devour, there's no way to actually deal with this Boar. So what is Grimstroke going to do? In towards the mid, Sumail looking to keep bouncing in against Ori. Even with the kick from Fade, Ori doesn't want to be involved in this fight. Just create space so Ori doesn't get initiated on by Sumail even more.
Yeah, Sumail is wrecking this mid lane, and he's also had complete and utter courier dominance. He's going to be funneling out his 3rd null talisman, which is giving him a massive base damage advantage.
They're going again up on top. Crit's rotating around the side. They start with Fly's initiation. Yang blocked up by the creep wave, but Crit, he's level 2, but he didn't want to skill up Snowball. He could have potentially skilled up Shards. But it doesn't happen. Instead, actually, Crit gets in trouble, trying to go over. He's snowballing towards the small camp. That's what Yang's waiting for. Fable, no, he doesn't have any kind of extra control. Instead, it goes the other way with Fly getting harassing into Yang. And everyone will walk away.
This is perfect from EG, because now you're able to duel as a 2-on-2 as your AM farms under tower. He's going to be able to get some denies, hopefully be able to maintain lane control, and it looks like that'll be the case. This is very good, because AM always threatens aggressively, especially when you have a Tusk and an Oracle. They charge up a stun. All he has to do is blink in, collect a couple last hits. Double Wraith queued up, already completed. Eventually he'll get the courier up top.
It's been a little bit busy with Sumail, so we can dominate that mid lane. Crit's going again. We're going to go into the Brawler after Fade. Fly's got extra control, throwing it to Yang. No way to heal, no way to control. And Yang goes down. Crit wants to keep battling on while on bottom lane. S4 being dived into the tower. Paparazzi with the confidence, but back up to top. Fade continues on the run. Fly's nukes have actually started to heal up Fade. They will kill him before it can reach the shine and the support, but then no, it's not another one. Fly is bone dry. No more man to have, but what a great time to fight at the 5-minute bounty rune mark.
Yep.
But then again, it's going to be a 2-2 trade-off anyway, because VG control the bottom.
And bottom lane, your Beastmaster isn't getting too much farm, but he's getting full XP, same level as the Juggernaut. You're just fine with this if you're S4. And you don't kill this hero. Grimstroke doesn't have like a real setup ability, not high damage enough in this laning phase to find kills on the BM. And you can rotate another as they are. Like Earthspear will come bottom. I think you want to find this kill, but the Hawk scouts out. Well played by S4.
Another reason why Beastmaster is such a great hero to play. They put down the Observer Ward in the lane, but it won't matter. Top lane, Yang, Animate, blinking forward, wanting to get aggressive. They have to TP support in. It's going to be the Grimstroke, who will complete. Does heavy damage to Crit, who was copping a lot of hits from the tower. But it will make EG back off, but it's the mid lane where you've got another gank coming in, wrapping around the back. They use Sumail to initiate in. Now the control. Fly lets it rip. Sumail building up this intel in the meantime, ripping it away from Ori. He wants to go onto the tower, has the level 6, but doesn't have a point in the Eclipse. No way to actually secure it against a Medusa, but Medusa can be really happy. A regen rune in bottom river. This will bring her all the way back up. If you can hear the crowd right now, that's why they're excited.
Yeah, this is another, we've been talking about this all tournament long, but once again, you've got a big timing on the OD BKB. You're playing against double silence and Adusa. you blink on top of him, get on top of him with BKB pops, he's forced to just run away and pop Stone Gaze, because otherwise, like, this is a hard counter. I'm very surprised they took Dusa into the OD.
Yeah.
So I imagine it's just because they have trust in their tempo. Yep. You've got enough potential power that you could hit a spike around 25-30 minutes, perhaps just go high ground before Arteezy's AM is online.
They're going again into mid. Here comes a TP in from the Earth Spirit. Needs to do a lot of work to try and save Ori, but with the kick, Fly may even go down, rolling boulder forward, and Fly will be punished. And now you see that lack of damage from EG. VG want to go for more with Inkswell. They get the stun on Arteezy, but there's nowhere near enough control or damage to pierce both shield and stop him before he can blink away.
Yeah, but if you're a Vici fan, Paparazzi, #1 net worth, you're liking this. He's one of the best players in China. I believe the 2-time TI 1v1 champion. Often relegated, of course, to side lanes now as the carry, but...
Relegated. It's like, I'm sorry, we're going to put you in the hard farming position. Why? Because you're just so good. But yeah, it's good to see for a Juggernaut. A hero who has been a little controversial.
We got more.
Yeah, they do. Crit's going to come in. They need the follow-up stun. They're going to start with the tag team. Juggernaut begins his TP, puts the healing ward down, keeping in front of him. That regeneration is not only going to stay up, they couldn't get rid of it. It's going to reset Paparazzi back into this lane with full health.
That's also, this matchup used to be far more Beastmaster favorite because the boar would pierce the spin, and you could actually slow him through that fake BKB, whereas now Jug will be able to just spin away. It was a good effort from EG, but just a 16 armor Jug, you're not going to kill him, because bear in mind that tag team damage is all physical.
Oh, they're going again. Samael with a double damage room wants Ori. Ori just begins his TP out. The Eclipse is not enough damage to get the kill on the Dusa. It was all the way back to safety. I say safety, went to Shrine, doesn't even want to leave the lane.
Look at what he's got queued up as well, the Midas. EG, they understand the game state they're in. They're not on the clock. Vici is.
DY, the Inkswell, decent stun over on the AM. Yang still trying to get the damage in with the arrival of Fate. Crits him way too deep. You thought EG were the aggressors, but VG Gaming, they know where to stay in the lane, they want to fight. Maybe a little bit too much by committing Paparazzi to also TP to the top. They need to make this work into something else now. This has to almost be a push into the tier 1.
Yeah, S4 though with a lot of space now, just hanging out in the bottom lane. He'll be rushing the Vlads.
Does EG reply to this? Does EG bring anybody else to this top lane?
Yeah, you can think about it, but there is an Omni Slash available. I like what Fly's doing here. This is the new way to defend towers and has been for quite some time. You just pull the creeps. You don't actually have to go battle them. Just try and prevent them from getting that bonus damage and somebody tank the tower.
That healing ward, and combined with the Dazzle, VG don't care about tanking the tower. They can sustain through this. You've got Oracle in close. Attempted denial won't happen. Paparazzi, they get the push. There's no Beastmaster Raw. That's why there's no rotation. And Fade makes the most of it, combining with the Omni Slash. Crit, defensive, into the snowball. He's chasing after Fade. Fly's going to get the damage down, but Paparazzi has more of it with the spin. Fade will actually begin to start healing as Fly is out of mana. Bottom lane has been pressured, and the tier 1 tower will fall the way of EG.
Yeah, this is something we see often with these aggro tri or dual lanes. The carry likes to rotate to the safe lane, find a kill, and then shove tower.
Well, Samael, he's got the banishment off, supports nearby from the Juggernaut, but there's little he can do to help this. While his Omni Slash is down, Fade is dead. Even if it was up, he doesn't want to be involved in that. But another battle for the 10-minute runes.
The concern, if you're Vici, has got to be Ori. He's still... This is not the kind of game you like as a Dusa. He's yet to finish really any core item outside of the Treads rate band, and he's going to just be farming jungle for the next 5-10 minutes. Not really capable of shoving just yet, and that's a little worrying when you consider that Sumail's about 300 gold from a Midas.
But isn't that when you look to the rest of VG? We've seen PAs who just sit back, get some space because it's a 4 protect 1 kind of strat, and the Juggernaut with early items is going for a Diffusal Blade, as that early item for the Jugger means they can be aggressive with Paparazzi.
I feel like he might end up changing that, especially if he gets another tower last hit. He'll just have so much gold. I think once you
Battle Fury,
it's something that allows him to scale a bit better, because you look at EG, you understand the kind of game they're going to play. Beastmaster and AM are going to be shoving lanes. OD shoving lanes. They're just going to play cat and mouse, and eventually they'll be at a point where they have an extra 2 items on all of your cores, and they'll win the game easily.
This is smart from EG. They're avoiding the fight with Paparazzi. At least they're trying to. They're pushing the tier 1 tower up on top lane, and the rest of VG so far away. If they walk forward, they'll walk underneath Radiant Vision. There's an Observer Ward already down. I don't know if it's in range of the Sentry that's there, but EG will smoke up. That was, I think, slightly in range of the Dire Obs.
And they're going to go for this mid tower. I like the play. Looking to get aggressive, even though they're banking on their late game to actually give them this victory.
If they can get the kill on Ori, he comes in just to snake the mid, but that means he moves a little bit too far forward. Samao starts with the imprisonment, but here comes the rest of VG. And EG know they cannot fight this.
I'm surprised they didn't let Beastmaster lead there. I think that's a sure kill. You have an OD with ult prepared.
Yep. And now Arteezy is the one who, thanks to the Observer Ward, yeah, Paparazzi begins his spin, has TP available, but Beastmaster Roar is there. He knows he can't just TP out, starts buying up the items into the Omni Slash, hoping for the lucky hits on the ground. And now he has TP'd on the Omni Slash! This hero is Dota!
Oh, man.
What?
I want to say well played, but it feels dirty, Toby. That feels dirty.
Man, like you're a pig in mud right now. It's dirty crap.
Top lane, Earthbeard does finish up his level 6 of the Magnetize for that next engagement.
Because they all move down as well, like ES is getting that space. We've seen ES with a little bit of farm become so tanky and become the enablers for the team, which do not die.
It's curious. Oh, hang on, another smoke. They're going to find Grimstroke here.
Yep, underneath the tower, snowball forward. He begins already, looking for the Inkswell stun to buy a little bit of time, able to hit that stun. They soulbind as well. Crit, as well as Samao, in trouble. Crit's going down quickly. Samao, defensive imprisonment. Yang's hanging around. They got double damage room. Perfect rolling ball to forward. Samao gets stunned up, and he's trying to be helped. The false promise. It is exactly as the name says. A false promise of life. He pops at the end of it. And look at VG group up for the push down mid.
Once again, they're not leading with the Beastmaster. That's a Midas OD and a Tusk diving a tier 1 for a support. You've got to expect a response. It's not like Vici doesn't have a save mechanic, they have counter initiation. It's just, well, you get the kill, but is it really worth it? I don't think so.
Not when you lose your tier 1 tower, but the space created for the anti-mage, this is your counterplay. The fact that, Fly tries to run away, that's that diffuser blade doing its work. They're losing their tier 2 tower on top lane in the meantime for VG Gaming. This is going to threaten the control of their jungle, and it's the way anti-mages always play, right? You take out that safe lane of the Dire side, and then you own the Dire jungle and just farm it up.
It really just strange decisions from Vici. If you look at what the cores are itemizing for, Dazzle's going for a Midas, the Deuce has got a Yasha, he's still just hard farming the jungle, and of course the Jug Diffusal. It's a high damage item, it's very cost effective, but I'm curious as to what their timing is.
Yeah, the EG one looks a lot more straightforward, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got S4 building in, like he's got the Vlads, he's going to go in for the Solar, well, maybe not the whole way. Stop at Medallion. Paparazzi knows he can't TP underneath S4, but that's why Fade rotates in, drops the Magnetize with the control. S4 does get the Roar off, but can he get away? Fade wants a rolling boulder forward, but he keeps the rocks down. S4's ears are ringing, and another rock being planted. The damage output, 40 HP, 25-10. The last tick will end up killing him off while we go over towards Fly. Solid bound up, can't run away. 2 heroes down for EG as they try to contest the ancient stack of VG Gaming.
Yeah, love the warding from Vici. They've got that defensive ward. They get all this information.
Does he really want to walk into this? He's blinked out.
You're gonna have a really hard time killing Arteezy in this game if you're Vici. Yeah, you could land the silence on him, but it's really all the Earth Spirit. Grimstroke perhaps, and you know, this is a thing. You could think about burning all of AM's mana as well. You get a silence off of some Mantic Diffusal hits, 1 Mystic Snake post-talent, like AM all of a sudden can't blink away, and you don't itemize for Magic Wand anymore in the new meta, so.
But at the same time, locking down Arteezy, like, even with Soulbind, like, you've still got Spell Block available. And if Arteezy times this perfectly, VG Gaming's initiation can quickly turn on themselves.
And I like the smoke from Vici. I think they're gonna cut perhaps towards the top lane. Looking to make some moves, and this is cool. They're reading EG's movements. They know they want to play this top side.
Is it top or Roshan? Like, can they actually do Roshan with the Juggernaut